All right, we are back for Roundtable Ravens episode number 15. I am once again joined by Billie Melissa, and joining us each and every week moving forward, we got Ricardo Buddy Sandoval. Woo! All right. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. A little small celebration there for Buddy, but it's all right because there's just so much to go over. Free agency kicked off in a really big way, but free agency kicked off in a big way for a lot of other teams, minus the Ravens. There was not a whole lot that happened other than, a kind of bigger.
No. Let's get it straight. There was a lot that happened, and then a whole lot of mess happened.
Okay, so I guess we can just start with the biggest thing. The biggest thing that kind of kicked off free agency period for the Ravens, which is the blockbuster trade for Maxx Crosby, which happened while I was actually at Disneyland of all places. So I text Buddy and I was like, please get this article up. Holy crap. Of course, it's happened when I'm not home. 2 first-round picks. They get the number 14 overall. And then they get the 2027 first round pick from the Ravens. And the Raiders, that's what the Raiders got. The Ravens get Maxx Crosby. No other compensation, no other nothing. That's what the trade was for. So, how are we feeling?
I was feeling great until yesterday.
Let's focus on the Crosby thing first. How are we feeling about the Crosby trade?
First of all, I was like, that's great. Love that. Let's go. Eric DaCosta, you genius. Let's do it. Great trade. A little bit expensive, in my humble opinion. If it was if it was just this year's, fine. The fact that it's next year's as well. And then, at first look, I was feeling great. Let's put it that way. And then everything else happened.
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly the type of move you got to make if you want to get over the hump, right? Like Maxx Crosby is a type of player you go out and you spend 2 first-round picks for. Considering the type of year that the Ravens had, they wanted to come back and be that juggernaut that they have established themselves to be in the AFC and throughout the league. So I feel like that price that they had to pay was fair enough for a type of player that Crosby is, a type of player that could take them to the next level. So yeah, like I'm in the same boat as Billy. Like in terms of like what was going on Friday with the team, what they gave up, who they got back, it was good. And then yeah, I'm sorry, James. I know we're gonna get to it later on, but like Monday kind of.
You can't talk about one without the other anymore.
Put a little bit of a damper into it, but the fact that they did get an all-pro, that's good news for the Ravens and their defense, considering the type of year they had last year.
It's what they needed, and it's how they were trying to rebrand. They were like, we're going back to basics, we're going back to our identity, we're becoming a defensive team again. Here's Maxx Crosby. And now I'm like, this was just a cover-up for the fact that the rest of this was happening in the background. And they were like, let's give the fans something to calm them down, because come Monday, they're not going to be happy anymore.
I'm of 2 minds of this thing right now. I fully was like, holy crap, they got Maxx Crosby. They actually did it. But 2 first-round picks is a lot. It's a hell of a lot, only because the Ravens have never traded a first-round pick for anybody in the 31-year history, and then they give up 2. Maxx Crosby's 29 years old. He's already played in the league, 8 seasons? I believe it is 7 seasons. I could be wrong about that number. Let me fact check myself real quick. But I'm a little, I don't know. I'm happy for them, and I think it was a great trade. And obviously, you want a pass rusher, but you got a game ranking pass rusher 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So he's coming off of a nagging knee injury, and it's not a knee injury that should take him out of any kind of action whatsoever. But he's also 29 years old, and so we'll see where he's at. But pass rushers like Maxx Crosby tend to kind of fade off a little bit earlier because he's such a physical player. But he's not just important in pass rush. He's really important in run stopping too, which is why he played 93% or some crazy amount of defensive snaps with the Raiders last season, even with that nagging knee injury. For 2 first-round picks, I don't know. It's just a really high price, but I mean, like, and that's the thing is like Miles Garrett or like Micah Parsons. Was he for worth two first round picks? Is Maxx Crosby going to be worth two first round picks? I don't know. It just seems so crazy to me that that's what they gave up. But like you just said, buddy, this is the move to get them over the hump defensively, especially pass rush wise, and also to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs again, to compete with the Buffalo Bills. You got to get somebody who's going to be able to get after those quarterbacks, and that's for sure Maxx Crosby. But now it's about who do you put around Maxx Crosby, because still your pass rush is still not that great, even with Maxx Crosby. He's not. He's only one guy, and you got Odafe Owe, who just took off to the Commanders. You got these other guys that are
They
going
paid a
everywhere.
price for him.
And they did pay a price for him. We knew he was going to get a good contract, but that was like, it was like, whoa, okay. But there's a lot of overpaying going on. But I mean, that's the price you pay, I guess, in free agency. Um, yeah, Maxx Crosby. I think he's going to be a game wrecker. I'm still like, oh my God, two first round picks. Like my heart is still like, oh, like that's so much. Just
I
because, like,
think,
yeah,
oh, I was gonna say, I think that that's because there's the whole thing of like insanity is doing the same thing
yeah,
twice and
no,
expecting different results,
yeah,
right? And this isn't a Ravens move. This isn't a level-headed Eric DeCosta, Ozzie Newsome move. This is mad. Like this is
mm,
completely out of the box for them. Maybe they're just swinging for the hills and saying, "Hey, is this the thing we need to do?" Because, we're in an experiment. Yeah, I think Eric's getting a grace year out of this. I think Steve Bisciotti knows the the price he's had to pay by getting rid of John Harbaugh. He knows that they're not hoping to go to the Super Bowl this year, hoping to be contenders, absolutely. But, a Super Bowl would be a nice cherry on top. I think he knows the position he's in, and he's like, if there's any year I'm going to get away with doing something like this, it's this year, so I'm going to try it out.
yeah, definitely. But I also that okay. So this leads us into our next topic, which is going to be even bigger than Maxx Crosby, believe it or not. Um, is what the hell are they doing? So Maxx Crosby came in. They re-signed Tyler Huntley, which obviously that's a good move because we talked about this before previously.
Yeah.
We're like, who else would you go get that can run this offense if Lamar's out? Or even so, you bring Huntley in for design runs, kind of like whatever, wildcat type situations. It's gonna be Soup Huntley because he understands the Ravens offense better than anybody would have if
Yep.
they brought in anybody else. So good signing. I was all for it. I was like, good for him. He should be back. They brought him back 2-year deal. Great. Everything else just didn't happen. And now, so obviously, I think I don't know. I don't know what the snowball effect was. Is it that they're still waiting for Lamar Jackson to get an extension because he's on the hook for 70 plus million? I think it's like 75.5 or some crazy amount right now in 2026. So you have to lower that amount with an extension.
I think
But
it's
is
74.5.
74.5, thank you. So maybe it's the lack of speed of that extension because obviously Lamar and his mom are the ones that like navigate that type of
Maybe Lamar
deal.
doesn't want one.
Maybe
Maybe he's like,
maybe
I'm seeing what's happening here before I go all in on this team.
there's a lot of those conspiracies that we talked about, but we at this point it's like, okay, you took a giant step forward and then you took 50 back. So Lamar doesn't have an extension, and then you lose Tyler Linderbaum. You lose him to the Las Vegas Raiders, who, also in my opinion, overpaid. 27
Hmm.
million per season is insane. And that is not to say that Tyler Linderbaum did not deserve a huge deal. He did not deserve to get paid like that. But what I read, I don't know how true this is. Obviously, we're not GMs in the front office for the Ravens or, as executives, but the sticking point for that deal or lack thereof for the Ravens was that they were not willing to give him 3 years, which I think is ridiculous. Why would you not give him a 3-year deal? So the Raiders come in and pay Tyler Linderbaum 27 million per season, blows the center and interior lineman number out of the water. The Creed Humphrey was getting paid 18 million. So of any guard, of any center, he just blows that record out of the water completely. Completely
Hmm.
resets the market in a huge, huge way. 3-year deal, 81 million, and then I forgot the guarantees. It's like 40 for 60. I don't know the guarantee, so I'm not going to just say it's whatever. But
Yeah.
that being said, was that the catalyst? Is that what's now led to the Ravens losing 8 free agents already?
Yeah. I think what it was what I read was the Ravens offered Linderbaum 4 years at 88 million. And then when you've got someone saying, hey, we'll give you basically the same amount and it's only 3 years. I mean, team loyalty means nothing to some guys, doesn't it? It means, hey,
Go get that
that
bag.
money's looking good.
Go get that bag.
See, I'm all usually all for respectful about that and like great, but at some point, like you're leaving them off for the Wolves. We don't have anyone else on the offensive line. Ronnie Stanley's getting up there in age. You know, he's great. He's not had the best couple seasons. Again, there's a whole coaching issue that we can attribute that to. But you've left Lamar Jackson out in the wild. And I really do think for Lamar, he's like, I don't like, who's protecting me? Who am I likely's gone? Keaton Mitchell in the backfield, he's gone. Like,
Charlie Kolar is gone.
Like, Kolar's gone. Like, Jordan Stout gone. Like, all of these great, like, these players that are Ravens, you know, they are game-changing players for the Ravens. They're gone. This was always going to be a tough year. And I think maybe Lamar wants to see, he's like, show me that I want to stay here for 5 more years.
No, yeah, it was yeah. Losing Tyler Linderbaum, that was really a shocker to me.
Yeah.
Obviously we had Jesse Minter and we had Eric DeCosta talk about like how much they wanted to retain him, and then I feel like there was like too. I feel like there wasn't a fight because in the first day, not even the first day of official free agency, but once that illegal tampering window closed or opened, the Raiders come in and just swoop in and get him, right? So it's like, whoa, this kind of came out of left field. I mean, the money is pretty insane for a center, but the Ravens wanted to make him the highest paying center. Raiders like, no, I think we're gonna do that. So yeah, and also too, like with the Lamar situation, like I feel like they wanted to get that done last week, but there's just maybe a couple roadblocks, maybe Lamar and you that I don't know. There's just a lot of weird things going on right now. The Lamar Jackson thing is weird to me, just because I felt like they were gonna get something done, they didn't. Yeah, it's just a lot of weird things right now going on with the Ravens. It's crazy how in the span of just mere hours or inside of an hour, right? Like things could change like that. And yeah, right now it's a little bit wonky. Of course, you still have a couple more days for free agency. You still have the draft, but the fact that they lost these amount of players, especially Tyler Lindenbaum, who obviously is a big piece of that offense. Yeah, it's really crazy right now. There's a lot of things up in the air right now for the Ravens.
Yeah, so they lost 7 total so far. Tyler Linderbaum went to
Hmm.
Vegas. Isaiah Likely goes to the Giants to rejoin John Harbaugh. Draymond Jones goes to New England. We weren't really high up on Draymond Jones coming back, so that one isn't really like
Yeah.
that. Like, we figured he'd probably get a bigger contract elsewhere, so okay. And obviously you bring Maxx Crosby in. Not that you don't need more, but I mean, like, come on. Charlie Kolar goes to the Chargers. Jordan Stout goes to the Giants. Alohi Gilman goes to KC. And Ardarius Washington also goes to the Giants. So obviously, you got John Harbaugh cherry picking the players that he wants, which for obvious reasons. Like we figured that was going to happen with the coaching
Hmm.
staff anyway. So that makes sense. But they've lost. Not only have they lost 7 players, but they lost 7 starters. That's the issue here is like you
Yeah.
lost that many players. What is your game plan? What are you going to do now? Who are you going to go get to fill this up? And Billy, we were talking previously about potential center replacements who are now all signed. Connor McGovern went back to the Bills. You had Bradbury go from the Giants to from the Patriots to the Bears, and then Tyler Biadasz, I don't know how to say his last name. He went from the Commanders and he went over to the Chargers. So all those guys got locked up, and my thought was, okay, then Tyler Linderbaum's coming back because all these guys made deals. There's no way that he's not coming back. But then the Raiders come in and absolutely swoop him. Now you're kind of at a huge loss, especially with Tyler Linderbaum, because you lose arguably the best center in the game. And then all of the other guys who could have been a complement or a replacement for that, especially Connor McGovern, which I pitched. I was like, I think he could be the guy. Gone. And now the only other guy is I can't remember his name, Green Bay Packers guy.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Let me find his name. I can't. Oh, Elgton Jenkins. I don't know how to say his name. Elgton Jenkins is everybody's saying that's the guy. Go get him. He's a guard, but he can play center. Whatever. He just got released as a cap casualty
Can
thing.
you play God? Because we don't have one of those either.
Well, okay. Look, this isn't gonna be popular to say, but I think they did get a decent upgrade comparative to who they have now. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean the Ravens went and re-signed John Simpson. He's not the highest rated guard in the NFL, but he's quality. He started all 17 games last season, and I think that's kind of what you need. You need and in my opinion, he's better than Daniel Falale.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
Voorhees,
I think
struggled
I
too.
might be. No, no, that's too
Yeah,
far.
right. But I mean, that's the thing. Is like they got Huntley, they got Maxx Crosby, they got John Simpson, and everybody else is left thus far. And there's still like Patrick Ricard. Is he gonna leave? There's still a bunch more.
I
Um,
was watching Pat Ricard grieving in real time. He was commenting on all those posts with like, "Sorry,
yeah,
Oh,
what? Where's my team going? Am I going? Am I staying? I don't know. I
yeah,
hope so. Can he
uh,
play center? I don't see why not.
yeah. I mean, Isaiah Likely going okay, but Charlie Kolar leaving, that was a bigger one too because he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the game, and then you lose him because like that you could have still used Charlie Kolar and Patrick Ricard as
Yeah,
your kind of tight end
100%.
combo, your blocking combo for Derrick Henry and for everything going on in that offense, but you lose Kolar.
You got Mark Andrews,
That's
and you
it.
just can't expect him to do everything. The same way you can't expect Carl Hamilton to do everything, which they have decided. Hey, you don't need your safeties back there. You can just. But at least he has Maxx Crosby now, I guess.
Um, yeah, this is
yeah,
crazy.
like they're paying Mark Andrews to do everything, right? But like
I
it's
mean,
like yeah,
he's that veteran guy for sure. But I mean, yeah, like he's up there in age. He's not supposed to be the guy that's like
Yeah.
blocking assignments all the time. He's kind of used in that middle of the field attack, which works well. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how the hell the Ravens recoup from this. To be honest,
No.
like this was
And
like
no first round picks for the
no
next
for
2 years.
yeah.
yeah,
That's now see that's what I mean in retrospect. Now I'm like, oh, like wait, oh, like
Especially, that's what it is. First of all, I was like, okay, like we fixed a hole. We fixed a big hole. And now you've got seven more. You've
yeah.
patched one, and the boat is filling up with more and more water, and eventually it's going to sink because I mean, look, maybe I'm being pessimistic. Maybe come September, I'm going to see the vision.
sure.
I think I'd be delusional to believe that I'm going to see the vision. I don't know who you're getting. I just don't know.
I mean, the good thing draft wise is the Baltimore Ravens did get four compensatory picks, two in the fifth, two in the seventh.
Yeah.
So those can obviously be packaged to move up and to go get guys that you need in the second, third rounds for sure. I
Mhm.
believe I want to say that the Ravens still have 10 picks, but I could be wrong about that. That being said, like you know, I don't know. It's weird because this is kind of the danger and the thing that we talked about, Billy, in the sense of like we knew that initially Eric DeCosta said that they're not going to be big players in free agency, and then they go get Maxx Crosby, and I was like, oh, he got us. But now you look at all the people they lost. Okay, so then what is he really doing with the front office? Like, what are they? All these guys left, and you couldn't keep any of them. Like, you couldn't offer a little bit more. So that's where I'm like, is that the drawback? Is that what's going on with DaCosta and he's not wanting to play ball? And obviously, like, you don't want to overpay for certain guys when you believe that you can go get a cheaper version of that player in the draft for sure. But without a first round pick, and that's not to say the second and third round guys, fourth round guys, fifth round gems, all that. But you run the risk of getting guys that need a year or two to develop. So what are you going to do in
Yeah.
2026 when you lost all of these starters? All seven gone. So
Yeah. And
Yeah,
we
like
need to be talking about Lamar Jackson's health.
yeah.
Who's protecting this guy? You know, I need to see the evidence. I need to see what the plan is before I feel any type of way.
Yeah, like it kind of, yeah, James, like you're right. Like they might be going. I know you didn't say this, but like in a way, like they might be going kind of like that rebuild phase, right? Because they do have 10 picks in this year's draft, right? Like if they're going that way and they want to go cheaper, like Lamar Jackson's not the type of guy to have to have on your team. He's a two-time MVP, right? And he clearly wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to get over that hump as well. There's just I don't know. I really don't know the type of direction they're going in right now. Um, if they do want to go that younger route, cheaper route, that's fine, but Lamar Jackson can't be on your team if that's the case, unless, let's say like three of these guys they draft pop off, right? Like who knows, right? Who knows? But then again, that's more of like a pipe dream than like actual reality, right? Like
Mhm.
sure, maybe some guys are gonna pan out, but at to what level, right? And to what level this quickly,
Yeah.
So who knows? But just like we said before, there's still a lot of time, but yeah, things I don't know, it's a little weird.
Obviously, this is going to be a conversation for the other pod, but I think the Ravens are doing the bipolar opposite of what the Rams are doing. So the Rams are going all in for Matthew Stafford, which is what the Ravens should be doing for Lamar
Yep.
Jackson, because, like you just said, we have to worry about Lamar's health. He suffered a hamstring injury that took him out for multiple games, and he had a knee, a toe, a back. What he had
Back.
so many
Everything.
different things going on that obviously derailed your entire season, and you saw that. That's why they went and got the guy from the rugby team to go come in and be your performance and health guy, which we talked about. I thought was a really great way to mitigate that. But then you lose all of these players and you're going backward. And so now that's what I mean. Like what are you doing to Costa in the sense of like how do you not try to get all of these guys back like I mean, Ardarius Washington, sure, okay, he was hurt, so you kind of don't know what you got there. Maybe he's not going to be able to come back and be as effective as he once was. Charlie Kolar, okay, maybe Isaiah Likely was down in production and somebody was going to overpay. That's fine. Charlie Kolar more so like let's bring him back because of the blocking schemes and his ability to be able to do that. Because really good blocking tight ends are not a dime a dozen in the NFL. You actually
Hmm.
have to go and find those guys. So losing Tyler Linderbaum is a big, big hit. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to replace that guy? And it's kind of crazy. Like I just, I don't know. I don't see the vision either. Like I'm like, what the hell happened here? Draymond Jones, like I said, some of these guys, like I get it. Like Jordan
Yeah.
Stout. Jordan Stout was a weird one because like he did have a Pro Bowl and All Pro year, and he was a really good puncher. But I'm like, okay, like. Is the punter market really that bad? I don't think so. For some crazy reason, a bunch of them got a lot of contracts, but this is
But
they
it's
want to
becoming more important. We
right.
see
Yeah.
teams losing on special teams, and that's why I was hurt to see Jordan Stout go because I was like, that's our Pro Bowl guy. That's the guy who's been training under Sam Cook, who redefined
Yeah.
the game or the role of punter in that, now what you're going to bring in a rookie and you're going to expect him to be, these rules are changing to the point where they are affecting the game. You don't want to mess around with that. I saw Likely go and I was like, expected when they played Mark Andrews last season. I was like, okay. And then Jordan Stout news came out and I was like, and they're going to New York to be back with John Harbaugh. Like, is that saying something about what's left in? But was John Harbaugh actually not a problem for these? But was he causing a split down the locker room? Did half of them really like his regime, half of them not? Like, I mean, of course they're going to go where the money is, but they're also going where, they're familiar and they know that they're valued. And John's protected them over the years. So just like you, I'm just completely and utterly bad. When I saw those two, and I was like, I see Linderbaum go. I don't know what's going on in
Yeah,
Eric DaCosta's mind.
that's the one. I mean, that's the one that's definitely gonna sting for a long time. And hats off to the Raiders with all that cap space and actually using it instead of just sitting on it because they went and got everybody. And
Yep.
hats off to them. But like,
And they're
yeah,
protecting their rookie quarterback. They're like, we're bringing in this guy. This is the guy we're putting all of our chips behind, and we're gonna put him in the best position possible. And now they're gonna put him in even greater position because they've got number 14 as well.
Yeah.
Some teams did that this season. Some teams, I don't know. I don't know
yeah.
what the vision is.
Hmm.
So looking at the the rest of the free agents here, Patrick Ricard obviously is a big one for us. He hasn't been signed yet. You got Kyle Van Noy. Do you bring him back and pair him with
I sure hope so.
Maxx Crosby? I mean, veteran presence. Obviously you can go get a younger defensive tackle. You can go get a young defensive end or linebacker in the draft. So but still maybe you want to bring Kyle Van Noy back on a smaller deal. Um, Joseph Noteboom, your left tackle. I don't
Hmm.
know. D Hop, do you bring D Hop back? Probably not.
No, I
You
don't
know,
imagine so.
I mean, they
like,
definitely got to improve that wide receiver room, but I'm like Dion's clearly not the
yeah.
answer.
Uh,
He's the guy if they use him.
If they use him, yeah, but obviously the 2025 season was just not. I don't know what the hell happened there, but you got a Woozy. He's kind of a bigger one. Maybe you bring him
Yeah.
back. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're supposed to do with these the rest of these free agents. Like a lot of them are like okay. Like of them, I would say Woozy and Patrick Ricard are probably the two that I would say
Yeah.
bring those guys back.
Yeah.
Maybe Kyle Van Noy, but all the rest of them, you're like okay, you can kind of let them
Mhm.
go test the market elsewhere because you already lost the main guys, in my opinion, the
Yeah.
ones that you should have brought back. At least half of them you should have brought back. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. It was only day one of free agency, and the league year does not kick off until tomorrow officially. Maybe DaCosta's been cooking since then. Maybe they're just going to bring in a wave of players that we didn't foresee. Maybe, just maybe, they're going to go and trade for another center. Maybe that's been the plan all along. Maybe they've been working behind the
They're
scenes.
trading Lamar Jackson. aren't they?
No,
They're like, wait, hey, look, when I saw Linderbaum going, I'm like, anything can happen now.
can you imagine if the Raiders did all that and then those two first round picks that they got for Maxx Crosby, they
They
then
traded him
trade for
back.
Lamar Jackson? Can you imagine if that act? This has been like the craziest conspiracy theory, but now we're like, wait.
I was sat here
Yeah, it seems
denying,
like ridiculous.
denying, denying the fact that Linderbaum was going anywhere. So now I'm not denying anything. Anything can happen and I'll remain unsurprised.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, who knows? Maybe this could be the move, right? Yeah, because it seems like they're going in a new direction, and I mean, if that's the case, then why still keep Lamar on your team, right? But it's all
um,
speculation.
Do they
I
want to
mean,
sell seats this year at the bank?
hey, look, this feeds into exactly what Buddy was just saying about if they are doing a rebuild and they're all wanting to get younger, and then you think about it, you go do exactly that. You trade Lamar Jackson to the Raiders, you get those first round picks, you get Fernando Mendoza, and then you go and you rebuild. I know this is crazy. This is
You're
crazy to even
talking
say out.
insane.
This is crazy to say out loud, but the way that day one of free agency went for the Ravens, now I'm like, what is really going on? Are they really doing like is this a possibility? Like and maybe you're right, Billy. Maybe he goes, you just lost like everybody that I needed on the team in a big way. Okay, so now I don't want a contract. I'm gonna eat that 70 million or you're gonna trade me. I don't know. Like
Yeah, who knows?
I can see him wanting to test out the year, see how it goes, see if he likes life under Minter's regime. I think he doesn't become an unrestricted free agent till 2028, so there's time for him to have a think and sit on that and decide. I think the only thing that could make Ravens fans mildly feel better about life right now is just getting that Lamar Jackson deal done. But I don't blame
yeah,
him for
yeah.
not wanting to touch a pen until he sees how this goes down because he's like, you know, when he gets in next season and he's not got someone in front of him, because what are you going to do? Put a rookie in front of him?
You can't.
And you want to protect your two-time MVP, should be three-time MVP
Well,
with a rookie?
so even the guys that they would have brought in, Francis Mayagoa or Vega Ione, both of those guys you can't even get now because you just gave
Nope.
up your first round pick. So yeah, then
They go
those
knocking on the Rams door saying, I want one
yeah.
of those.
Yeah, and plus those guys don't even play center, and they haven't.
Yeah.
They could like I think Mayogoa talked about moving to guard, which would have been great for the Ravens had they not traded their first round picks, and they could have brought him in to replace Daniel Falale and whoever the hell else. But even John Simpson as a complement to that would have been great. But
Mhm.
oh man, I'm kind of at a loss because I just like the losses that they experienced is like what is the grander plan here and look, if DaCosta just comes out swinging today and or tomorrow, cool. Then
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be like, all right, they're gonna breathe a sigh of relief. But I think you're right, Billy. I think the way that the top way you come back from this is a Lamar Jackson extension, and you announce that ASAP, and you go, we got him for the next 4 years. Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief, but then you got to get to work and replace those players. And who the hell are you going to put around him? Because right now you got Zay Flowers, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Derrick Henry. Who the hell else you got?
Kyle Hamilton.
I mean,
Unless you're talking
I
strictly
mean,
offense.
offense. like,
Mark Andrews.
but yeah, but I mean, like that's the thing is Mark Andrews is an old head. He's not going to be playing forever. He's already been in it for a while. So I'm talking about like who are the guys that are going to get you to the playoffs in 2026 potentially, and then capitalizing on Lamar's shrinking championship window. He's a two-time MVP. Should have been 3-time MVP as we've discussed. But he's getting older too, and obviously, like 2025 goes to prove that he's not. He is human, you know.
Hmm.
So
When you don't have those tools around him, things are going to happen. And we've seen, he was just getting eaten up last year. And Linderbaum was the only one holding that down. So they better hope that whether it was at the Combine or whether it's, you know, they've got some mad free agency move up their sleeve, they better hope that they can fill that hole because that is one that I don't think. I saw Lamar posting on his story, he was posting those news pieces about the losses, and he was sad to see them go. He was celebrating Maxx Crosby, so maybe he knew this was how it was going to go. Maybe he's just I don't know, but I can only imagine how he feels because I was like, he wants to hope his legs are 10 out of 10, 100% better by this season because he's going to need them.
hmm hmm yeah, yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm like, whoa. So
I think that's it, isn't it? You
yeah,
just
it's kind of it. Yeah, it's like until we come back.
That's
So
it.
let's see. So right now, the Ravens have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they have 10 picks. One in the second, one in the third, one in the fourth, four in the fifth, one in the sixth, and then two in the seventh. So, hopefully maybe some of those are going to be used to move up to get second, third um, round guys. I don't know, but we're going to have to wait and see what DaCosta plans to do moving forward because the Ravens got hit hard and they got hit hard in a big way. So we'll see how they rebound. We no idea. Like, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Again, this is only day one, so we'll probably be back next week to maybe potentially talk about how they did rebound and how they did mitigate those losses. Yeah, man.
rough.
Rough. Yeah. Really quick side note, something funny that did happen with the team, and maybe better news. Um, so yesterday, some fan made a comment about how he thinks that Kyle Hamilton hates the Ravens because he liked a post about Tyler Linderbaum getting trade or getting signed to the Ravens or Raiders, excuse me. And then Marlon Humphrey responded to that fan and said, "Yeah, he's exactly who you think he is. I know him personally." And everybody made a big deal about it that he was attacking Kyle Hamilton. I was like, "You guys do know he's
You
trolling,
guys know
right?"
Marlon Humphrey, the guy that tweets absolute nonsense.
Yeah, it was just really funny, and I loved reading that because I was like, "Come on, dude, he's not attacking Kyle Hamilton. Come on."
Could you imagine?
Yeah, right. He's like, "Screw that guy." Anyway,
The guy holding his defense together.
right. Yeah, this has been Roundtable Ravens episode number 15, talking all about free agency and the lack thereof that happened with the Ravens. Thank you, Billy, for joining me once again. Thank you, buddy, for joining us. We will be back next week to talk all about whatever happens next.